So what is my favorite green superfood powder or mix? I was asked that question earlier today by one of our community members, and I thought I would share it with all of you just because I get asked that question quite a bit. So my favorite green superfood powder is basically spirulina and chlorella. That's the basics, okay? And here's why. Usually a typical green superfood powder has a large variety of ingredients, usually 20 to 30 plus ingredients. And when you have that many ingredients, you have to rely on all of those ingredients being grown, extracted, and processed properly. That's a lot of ingredients, like a lot of growers and process, to rely on and to get all of that correct, And then the next thing you have to ask yourself is, are all of those ingredients necessary? Do you need all of those ingredients for optimal health, or is it just a long list just to look good, right? Is there just a couple ingredients inside of that long list that are the most nutrient dense and that will give you the most bang for your buck, right? And that's what chlorella and spirulina are, right? They're super nutrient dense. And most greens, the superfood powders and mixes, they contain chlorella or spirulina or both for that exact reason. And here's a good example of one compared to the other. 1,000 kilograms of greens, like kale, broccoli, etc. 1,000 kilograms of leafy greens or greens in general is equal to 1 kilogram of spirulina or chlorella in nutrient density. Okay, so that's huge. If you get any green superfood powder, I don't care which one, you think is the most badass, and you get the same quantity of chlorella or spirulina next to it, the chlorella or spirulina will win hands down in nutrient density every single time, like by far, like no question. So that being said, the spirulina and chlorella, they are the two most nutrient dense foods on the planet, and that's why I consider them to be the number one superfood, either one or the other or both mixed together. I consider to be the number one superfood on the planet. I consider them to be equal, right? They have their own little genre that they fit inside of where they could help one a little bit more than the other, but they are equal in their importance. Okay, spirulina, I go towards that a little bit more because it's more OG. It's been around longer. It's been taken like for hundreds and thousands of years, as far back like with the Mayans and Aztecs, and in Mexico, Central America areas, and then over in Africa as well for hundreds and thousands of years. Usually in these locations that are next to these like lakes or rivers where the spirulina can grow. Okay, it's a blue-green algae. It has chlorophyll and anthocyanins, which give it the blue-green color, and has tons of antioxidants, etc. And then the chlorella, it's a little bit newer kid on the block. It was discovered in, I believe it was 1890, and it is super nutrient dense. It's a single cell organism, so the cell wall is indigestible. It needs to be cracked or broken in order for us to be able to absorb the nutrients from it. So there is a slight process that it has to go through, and there is no process really with spirulina. That's another reason why I love it so much, because I'm super holistic practitioner, etc. But like I said, they're both so super nutrient dense. Like the green superfood mixes, they pale in comparison to the spirulina and chlorella. Now, the difference between the two, the main difference is spirulina is what I call, nature's multi, right? It's a great source of protein. About 50 to 70% of its volume is protein, and the rest is just a vast amount of like nutrients, including fat soluble and water soluble vitamins, minerals, and like I said, the anthocyanins and the chlorophyll and prebiotics, probiotics, just it's just an endless amount of nutrients inside of that. And that's why we call it nature's multi. I don't know of a multivitamin that has as much nutrition as spirulina, okay? And it's 100% bioavailable too. It's from nature, it's from a plant, it's not processed, and you could absorb all of it. The protein in there is 100% bioavailable, which you will not find in a superfood powder or a protein powder, okay? The chlorella is what I call nature's detoxifier, okay? So it has a bunch of the nutrition in there. It has a higher amount of chlorophyll because it doesn't have the anthocyanins. It's considered a green algae, and that's because of the high amounts of chlorophyll that it has, which is the sun's energy harvested for us to absorb and utilize, right? So super nutritious. But it also has that undigestible cell wall that we mentioned, and that has to be broken open or cracked in order for us to, be able to, obtain and absorb the nutrients that are contained inside of those cells. And what happens is inside your body, as it travels through, the undigestible part attracts these heavy metals and toxins, including toxins from pesticides and herbicides, arsenic, etc. And it'll attract them, bind them, and then get eliminated from your body. It'll carry them out as they get eliminated. So it's really super cool, and it's one of the reasons I call it nature's detoxifier. There are other reasons, but but this is the main reasons why I believe that the spirulina and chlorella are the best greens superfoods on the planet. Now, I want you to keep this in mind when you hear me having these videos and stuff like that. I have spirulina here, I have chlorella here, but it's for a reason, right? It's not for money, it's for health, okay? I created this company specifically for my own health. Like, I depend on these products. I created the CBD products. I created the formulations myself, and I source all of this myself, right? I depend on this for my health. If there was something better, I would take it. I would not only take it, I would sell it, especially if it was Greens Superfoods, because those are easy to make, right? They're fairly easy to make, easier than it is sourcing this and making sure that every batch is potent and free of contaminants, right? So I would go a much easier route and do the Greens Superfoods if it was more nutritious and better for you, because that's what I want for myself, right? But this is it, the extraction process we use for our CBD, that's the best, and that's why I take it, because I need to see. The same thing with our spirulina and chlorella. I have tested the Greens Superfoods as opposed to the spirulina and chlorella on myself, and then I've anecdotally tested it on hundreds of clients over the past 35 years, okay? And the spirulina chlorella wins hands down every time, every single time, okay? So I just wanted to get that into you and just give you what my pick is for the healthiest Greens Superfood powder and why. And again, that is spirulina and chlorella. And again, my favorite, I take both just because of variety and, for the multi and for the detoxifying and all that. But if I were to pick one over the other, it would be the spirulina, because it is, the OG, and it is the most pure and unprocessed there is, okay? But be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel. If you enjoy these types of videos, there is a link or a couple links below to our Facebook group and our MeWe group. So if you want to get connected with us and be with more like-minded people, etc. Again, remember that knowledge is power and health is wealth. This is Al Morenton, owner, founder, and product developer of MyFitLife and the MyFitLife community. Thank you and have a beautiful day. Peace.